Yeah, that's right, Derek and Jared. And this vote was the only topic for tonight's meeting, and it was started at 5:30, and it took nearly 2 hours to get to the vote. And the reason for that is they spent about an hour each board member explaining why they were going to vote a certain way, but then the other hour was an attempt to delay the vote to next month. However, they finally got to voting around 7:30 to finally close those schools, and it got a little emotional for some.
This has been difficult, and I'm getting emotional. The work continues.
Yeah, that was the board president who got a little emotional when I talked to her after the vote. The schools set to close are King, Bush, Jorgensen, Lassen, and Davis, so they'll continue to operate through the rest of this current school year before closing down. But I do want to point out that 2 of the schools have plans to reopen. They plan to reopen Bush either in 2026 or 2027, and they also want to reopen King as some sort of childhood center. However, they do not have a timeline on when that will happen, and they still say that they're researching on what to do with the other schools, but they made it clear that they do not plan to sell them or rename the buildings. And I did get that chance to speak with the board president, and she says with these closures means layoffs.
Our teachers will go along with our students. The layoffs will be at probably the administrative level. When you close a school, you don't need 2 principals at a school.
Now, earlier this year, the community passed a $150 million school bond, and so I spoke with the president on if that could have been used to save these schools, but she tells me legally they could not. Now, not all board members were for closing down the schools. I got the chance to meet with board member Robinson, who was the only one to vote no. He still feels like there are other options the district can pursue to save money, and that closing schools may lead to these kids going to charters and private schools that remain open in the area.
They did not want to consider real solutions for our community to keep our schools open, so instead they decided to close them without a real plan.
Yeah, and I got the chance to speak to many community members tonight, and many of them say that this was a sad day, but many of them also very understanding of the school district situation and how this was a difficult decision to make. We'll hear more from them tonight at 10. But for now, live in South Phoenix, I'm Steven Sarabia for Arizona's Family.
Yeah, the